Good morning, everybody. Happy, Wednesday? It's been a long time since I've actually been on camera. And the funny thing is, most people don't realize, or they think that they've seen me. And you haven't seen me. You've seen me doing events, and you've seen me marketing my events, and you've seen me at an event if you've been there. But I actually haven't been on camera since July last year. And there's an interesting story about that, so I'll tell you about that in a second. But today is day one of my live video challenge for April, and this is all about being seen, because I'm hearing it from every client, in every workshop, in every event, that people are afraid to be seen, that they haven't been seen their whole life, or they haven't been understood their whole life. Good morning, Gay. Oh, I can see the comments. This is good. Okay. So, yes, there's an element of healing to being seen. Yes, there's an unconditioning that has to happen around being seen. From childhood, from the way you've been treated in relationships, kids are seen and not heard, all of that stuff. But there's an element of this, good morning everyone, there's an element of this that you have to show up. You have to show up if you want to be seen. And using the excuse that you're afraid to be seen. Hi everyone, hi Angela. I feel like Romper Room. You know, she's like got her thing and she's saying, hi Jane. So there's an element, there's a big element of it sits with you. You can't be a victim anymore. You have to show up. So because I'm telling everyone this in my sessions and in my events, it was time for me to actually show up for myself as well. So it all started with AI and telling me that April, doing my numerology, that April was the month for me to show up. And it actually told me off. It said, you can't just post on your events. You can't just do the marketing. You can't do this. You can't do that. They want to see who you are. They want to see who they're buying. They want to see who the healer is. So you need to show up. So that's where it started. Anyway, if you'd like to join the, I'm going to cover a few things today. So the video challenge itself, if you'd like to join, it's not too late. It's just a Facebook group chat. It's free. It's messy, it's raw, everyone's purging their guts out in there, and it's amazing, right? So everyone's like, yeah, we need this, thanks for the inspiration. I'm like, fuck, if you think you probably all look at me and go, oh, you know, I get told all the time, you're a machine, or you're really good at this, and you don't understand, you don't know what I go through, and I'm about to tell you what I've been going through, because I've avoided telling you, because I'm sick of people trying to fix me and tell me what to do, so I don't say anything, right? So today I'm going to talk about the video challenge very briefly. If you want to join the video challenge, just comment yes in the comments below so that after the live I can actually add you to the group chat. It's as simple as you do 2 lives per week, or even 1 if you're new to this, and you speak to ChatGTP or Claude AI, and you brainstorm as to what you actually want to work on, and you come up with 2 topics, and then you actually get on live and you just do it. And it doesn't matter how long you talk for. I was meant to wash my hair this morning. I slept in till 9:30, which I've never done. What I'm working on myself is my own flexibility for myself, and the rigidness that I've had over the years in terms of getting up on the alarm, having the breakfast, running the household, single mum, pets, like all the stuff, and seeing clients. And before that it was corporate, and just that mouse wheel. And so I'm only seeing clients 2 days a week now, which means I actually get to sleep in, if the cats don't claw my face, to whenever my body wants to wake up. And then I get to eat whenever I feel like it, which, as it turns out, is only once a day now. So there's some interesting things that happen when you go into flow state, because we're not allowed to go into flow state because we're too busy trying to put money in the bank and food on the table. So anyway, so the video challenge, comment yes below, I'll add you to the group. Today I'm actually going to do some muscle testing and explain what that is, and I'm going to do some free healings. We'll see how we go for time, but I'm going to do my commencement checks, and I'll explain what those are in a second. And so if you want to volunteer, I want you to write in the comments, pick me. And if someone could just write in the comments now, it doesn't matter what you write, just say hi or something, because it's actually stopped scrolling. And I just want to know that it's actually working, because that's going to be awkward if I can't actually see what I need to do. or who wants to volunteer. So pick me in the comments if you want to be a volunteer for the commencement check. So it involves muscle testing, a bit of kinesiology, it's kind of all the same thing, and some energy healing, which you'll see me do light language, and I'll stand up in a second and do the thing, and working with chakras and emotions. So that's what you're in for, and it will be, oh good, it's working, pick me, gay, excellent. Oh, there we go. Everyone's like, pick me. We'll see how many I can do. So I might jump on another time and do some more. Anyway, so why am I doing this to myself? Why am I putting myself through the ringer when I don't feel like it? I'm very big on boundaries, and I'm very big on flow state and honoring yourself and looking after yourself, obviously. This is what I preach. This is what I practice. So when people tell me you're not looking after yourself, when I start to mention the things that are going on for me, I retreat. I don't want people to tell me what to do. I don't want people to throw products at me or supplements at me or private message me. So I'm about to tell you what's been going on for me, and I don't want to be coached. I don't want to be fixed. Okay? So allow that safety for me, and if anyone messages me, you're getting blocked, okay? So why am I doing this to myself? Because April is being seen. This whole snake shedding thing last year, which I'll go through in a second, was horrendous for me. Then we hit the fire horse, and it's like, yeah, let's gallop, and I'm still not right from last year. And I've had migraines every day. Give or take, when I'm trying something new to get rid of them, they go away for like a couple of days or maybe a week or 2 weeks, right? So I've tried everything, not everything, but I've tried a lot of things. So don't throw anything at me. In December, I started getting them twice a day, which is what's called a migraine rebound. So it's actually the meds that are causing the migraines in the end. Now, for this whole 6 years, I've been looking for the cause. And when I've gone to the neurologist and had all the tests and everything's coming back okay, my big thing in kinesiology is cause, right? So what is the cause? What is the cause? And even the chiropractor said to me recently, with migraines, it's not about cause, it's about triggers. And that changed my perception. I wanted to argue with him, but I took it on board, and I've started to realize that once you're in a certain state physically with migraines, it's just bam, 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 bam. And there's nothing you can do about it, but you know, Panadol doesn't work ever, never has. Either does Nurofen. Aspirin is starting to work, so that was a good tip that I got from someone. It's, you know, I'm on Maxalt. I've now started an injection as a preventative, and that is starting to work better, but there's side effects of that. And one of the side effects has put me back into menopause. Now, I went through menopause, not perimenopause, at 45. Bam, my parents got vaccinated and we were hanging out with them for 2 days. My period stopped, so did my daughter's, and mine never came back, ever. Not spotting, not irregular, it's sayonara. And hers came back a couple of months later. And because of the work that I was doing, I was around a lot of shedding. And so that brought on menopause. Now, you can argue with me all you like. We know that it hits the reproductive function, and we know that it hits the hormones. And so this is what we're seeing, right? So 5 years, I'm like, woo, coming on the back of it. This is amazing. I've got my herbal patches. I'm not getting hot flushes anymore. Yes, weight gain is a horrific. That's why I haven't been on camera, all of that stuff. But the Ajovi injection in my leg, which is once a month, has side effects. And one of them is you're hot all the time. If I do a massage on someone, I profusely sweat on my face, which is my worst nightmare. It's dripping all over my face. I've been doing this for 14 years, and yes, I sweat, but it stays here, right? And I put peppermint oil on and it stays there. I've now discovered why we have eyebrows. It's to stop the water going in the eyes or the sweat. Anyway, so that's been devastating because I'm just so hot all the time. It's like I'm in Bali all the time. It's horrible. And the other side effect is the migraines, when they do come on, are 3,000 times worse than they were before. So they were manageable before. I'd take the wafer and within an hour they would go away. So people are like, how do you have migraines every day and still function? Well, you learn to manage it and you learn to get onto it straight away so it doesn't turn into a full-blown migraine. But these are full-blown migraines, and I just about go insane trying to get rid of them. So there's a lot of stuff going on with me, and my eyes, I've actually got my glasses on to protect me energetically today, which is what I do. My eyes aren't right, and they haven't been right for a long time. So 2 migraines a day in December, and then our friend passed away, and you know, I was already exhausted from the Christmas bullshit because I don't have contact with any of my family, right? So it's devastating. Anyway, that's what was happening. I already had adrenal fatigue, but what happened in July last year was I went away for my 50th up to Queensland, and it was a joint trip with business. So I taught my course for the first time in Queensland, and it was amazing. And it was actually a lot easier to do other than the pressure I was putting on myself and trying to prove myself and all that shit that I've been working on. It was actually easier to do because I didn't have to take much. They had to bring everything because I couldn't take massage tables on the plane and, you know, all that stuff. So it taught me a lot of stuff. It was amazing. And I was so proud of myself, and it was so good. And turning 50, I'd come to terms with that, and I felt good and I looked good. And we had 2 people in the course that completely obliterated my nervous system. And I haven't been able to talk about it publicly because there were legal threats, constant legal threats from one of them. So I'm talking about it now. I'm not going to mention names, obviously. I have hinted at it in some posts, but there was one person in the course that was crossing boundaries constantly and brought in some really serious entities, which I cleared, and then she wasn't happy about the fact that I cleared them and publicly shamed me constantly, like to my face. Then in the group chat afterwards, I removed her and the other girl from the group chat because the other one was doubting me and questioning me the whole time throughout the course. She was actually a kinesiologist. Some of those know-it-all people, including me, I did a kinesiology course and I went in with the, oh, I know what I'm doing, blah, blah. So it's the ego, right? You have to fight with their ego. I didn't want to go near them. Did not want to go near them. They were horrible people, and they caused problems in the whole course with everyone else, and it was hard, right? Anyway, on the second day after the exorcism, I got hit right here in the chest, but in my esophagus area, so digestive thing. And I got sick instantly. I went to lunch and I got this huge cold sickness thing. I couldn't eat and it was hurting me. Instantly come on from what happened with this girl and the thing that we released. And I don't believe it was the thing we released. I believe it was her that was the problem and who attacked me. I have not been right since. I've done lots of stuff on myself. I've had other people working on me. You know, I'm a big believer of I'm not broken, this is a lesson, and it's something that was she probably triggered something that needed to be healed anyway. So I've been working with, you know, healers and stuff on that stuff. But, you know, I was really sick and then had my birthday and was getting legal threats the whole time. And then when we came home, I was really sick on the plane. My whole face went numb like I was having a stroke. All my gums and teeth were numb. And then the sinus was unbelievable. And I just haven't been right since, in the head, in the eyes, you know. And yes, I've been working on myself. So if you can those people can just piss off. So, you know, it was a huge stress on my body, the travel alone. And then I decided, because she tried to ruin my holiday, I decided to go back a couple of months later with one of my other friends to try and reclaim that energy. Went to this, you know, a different place and stuff, but still Sunshine Coast, and things just didn't go to plan. I got sick again, right? And so the travel, the stress, all the stuff that happened with her, all the legal threats, my nervous system was fried, and it was a body that couldn't handle that because of what had happened with my ex going missing and still going missing. And it was in July that the police came and contacted me again and asked me, where is he? We're looking for him again. He's homeless. He's done a runner from the hospital, da 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 da. And at the same time, I had my daughter's 18th and her dad came to the party. I haven't seen him for like 14 years, and it was amazing, but the stress on my body was next level. Right, so I've been trying to deal with that, and I've been backing off camera, and I've been very selective on how I talk about my stuff. because people don't want to listen. They just want to shame me or fix me, right? Which isn't great. So, I'm here doing the video challenge, and it's 2 lives a week. I've got my notes here, just so you know. And it's the group chat full of people in the same boat as me. So I've put on, I weighed myself yesterday to finally face it. I haven't been able to weigh myself. Now, you might all be like, oh, you look great, you look great. I don't feel great, and that's on me. That's what needs to change. I don't care what you think about me, good or bad, and I haven't for a long time, which is a good thing. I care about how I feel, how my clothes feel, how my body feels, how I feel like I'm swollen and sweaty the whole time. It's fucking horrific. Menopause is horrific, all right? So if you want to join us, it's not too late. You can join the group chat, just write yes in the comments below. Okay, so I want you to put in the comments where you are watching from. So just pop in, a state or a country or, a suburb if you're in Melbourne. I just want to know where you're watching from, and any questions that you have that come up while I'm doing this, you can pop in the comments, and I'll either see them or I'll answer them later on. Now, just a bit of a warning / disclaimer. My body does weird things when I work on people. So you're about to see Kundalini activation, which is my body moving and shaking or wiggling and my head moving. You're about to see light language, and you're about to see energy healing and weird breath work stuff. Guys from Melbourne, Boronia, beautiful. Oh, Boronia, I didn't know that. Where you live? Thanks for coming down all the time to live. Okay, so some things that are about to happen that might be weird for you to watch. And there's been some weird things in the media lately where I'm watching mainstream media trying to attack, as usual, people doing amazing work. Like Blaze Grinner, for example, up in Queensland, who I worked with for years with the men's stuff. And, and they're showing videos of men processing stuff. My God, if they came into my breathwork events and filmed, I think a lot of people would, be, throwing holy water at me on the crosses because of the evil that everyone thinks that Kundalini is, and, all that shit. So anyway, so what I'm going to do today is I'm going to show you muscle testing. I'm going to explain what muscle testing is. I'm going to explain how I do it, and talk to you about how muscle testing is used as a decision-making tool, just for anybody. Doesn't have to be, a kinesiologist, and why kinesiology picks up on what talk therapy doesn't, or what talk therapy misses or can't even scratch the surface of. Okay, so I'm obsessed with muscle testing. I've been doing this for 21 years. And ever since I learned, I still remember the first, because I'd been to a kinesiologist for years. I didn't really understand it. She never explained it. And then when I went to the course, I was like, oh my God, this all makes sense now. And because I was classically trained on the piano from a very young age, I think I was 6 years old, and I've played the flute and I've played the guitar, that I'm ambidextrous. I'm very good with both hands working at the same time, and the brain so you'll see me in a second. I'm going to close my eyes when I do the healing part, because I let my hands do their thing, and it's quite amazing. It's like a symphony. I'm like a conductor of an orchestra. So the muscle testing is a physiological response in the body, or in the muscle, in the arm. We're going to do the arm today because I'm not going to do my leg or anything. That could get interesting. So I'm going to hold my hand. We never muscle test this way, right? My healer does, though. She's amazing. So we're going to hold the hand out. Look how long my arm looks there. My hand looks really big. Anyway, we're going to do the muscle testing, and I'm just going to push here lightly. You're just going to see, my little finger here is just pressing really lightly. I'm going to do it a bit more stronger now, and you can see I'm not having to like this. My arm is going into what we call a natural locked position, right? It's not letting go, which is a good thing. Now, I can think about a migraine that I had recently, and I'm going to close my eyes and think about the migraine, and I can't hold my arm up. Now, if I had another arm, if I was an octopus, I could feel around my neck, for example. I know there's one spot on my neck on this side that feels disgusting, and so I could do that and muscle test at the same time. Then we'd see a weakness, right? So muscle testing is picking up on blockages weaknesses. Depends how you use it. I actually teach it slightly differently to when you're muscle testing on others, that is. In my kinesiology course, I teach it slightly different. I find the old way very archaic. They stack. So when they muscle test, they have to move their legs sideways and then they have to move their jaw to save the data and all the shit. And I work with really high intention and we work with energy and we do weird stuff in my course. So that's where I kind of sit differently in this field. So the muscle testing, I'll say, my name is Catherine, I'm getting a hold. My name is Rebecca, it lets go. So that's a weakness or it's a no. So it's a blockage or it's a lie, right? I can say, this will be interesting, I feel free and alive. It holds. It's amazing. I love my appearance right now. Yeah. Right, so it's not holding. So you can go out to the side, people can muscle test like that. If you're on the table, your arm would be on the massage table. I've got my massage table here, you're gonna see that in a second. Your arm would be like this, and then we muscle test like this. So we're testing the brachioradialis muscle for a yes, no. Now I can pinch this muscle and unlock it manually. And what's happening there is I'm squeezing the spindle fibers so that it gets confused and thinks it's overextending. That's what's happening with that. And then it will just reset itself again. Now, the way that I teach people is there's a whole lot of finger modes you can do. There's somewhat dirty one that I do. There's this one, there's this one. And so there's a muscle testing workshop that I do online and we teach all of that. But I can't actually do any of those. I just teach the methods and some people follow those religiously. But all kinesiologists need to learn how to self-test because 40% of my clients are online, overseas, interstate, or just too far to drive, or they're they're in a wheelchair, or all that stuff, or they're sick. And so I have to be able to muscle test on Zoom. And when the kids come in, and if there's a baby in utero, we use the mum as a surrogate tester. And I can muscle test for a kid that just decides halfway through, which they do, to just run around the room and play all the instruments and look at the crystals and stuff, which is fine, right? So it's called the sway method, which has then, so your body will sway yes for a no and backwards for, yes, forward for yes and backwards for a no. That's how it started for me. And now it's turned into an ab clench. My abs clench for a yes and nothing for a no. And it's very, very accurate to the point where I don't even muscle test the clients when they come in. They tuck their arms in and I muscle test as I go. I muscle test all the way through my massage. And if I was trying to rely on someone's arm to muscle test, then, they're face down, their arm will be like this. You can't include it in another therapy if you're trying to, you can't actually muscle test physically. So all the way through my massage. So I'll be massaging down their spine, but what I'm doing is I'm muscle testing for all the blockages in the spine, which is anger and resentment. I'm muscle testing the blockages in the kundalini, which is the two snakes wrapping up through the spine. And so I'm muscle testing blockages and I'm clearing those blockages as I go throughout the massage. Another thing I'm looking for example, along the right side, is the gallbladder point on the side there of the thigh, and often my hand gets stuck and my body's going crazy because they've got blockages in the gallbladder. Now we know gallbladder is impotence or potency in men, and I specialize in erectile dysfunction. It's also frustration and decision making and suppressed anger. And so when I'm massaging people, I can muscle test and see where the blockages are. It's really cool. Okay, so muscle testing is, I'll stand up in a second when I do the healing, but muscle testing is pinpoints stuff that you can't even imagine. So if you go to a psychologist, I love psychology, right? And I love the coaching aspect of what I do, and I teach all of that as well, because that is an art. But what is not an art is someone sitting there saying, how does that make you feel? How does that make you feel? How does that make you feel? And then just listening to your shit and then charging you, $290 for an hour, and then you're out the door. So with talk therapy, it depends on the practitioner, obviously, and what techniques and tools that they have in their toolkit, right? So don't all come at me about that. But talk therapy is only talking about what you remember. And we all know that when someone gets robbed, police have to come in within the 24-hour period and get the sketch of the robber, because our memory starts to change. And over time, even over a week, that person that witnessed the robbery, then the robber starts to look like, you know, an uncle or someone that they know. So we know that over time our memories aren't great. And it's not that you don't remember the actual thing that happened, but we start to layer perceptions and filters and emotions and stuff on top of that. So, you know, 10 people can experience this exact same thing and witness the exact same thing, but you'll all have different stories about what that is. And I'm going to go into that in my next live, about the stories that we tell ourselves and how we need to get out a story. So the muscle testing, like they'll sit there and talk to me. I've got my chair there. They'll sit there and talk to me. I'll go through their form. So I'm getting the puzzle pieces. But what they say to me, I'm listening and looking for body language. I'm not really listening to the story, because you'll get the ones that talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk, and they just basically saying nothing. And you ask them a question and they can't answer the question. They'll just go into the story, and then they'll go, once upon a time when I was born, and you know, and it's like, it's very difficult. So I muscle test an oil before they get in, an essence and a spray, and which books to use and which charts I need and how many affirmations they need and the past life stuff that they need. And so I already know what I'm working on when the person comes in the door and just starts going like this. Right, so that's where talk feels good for people to talk about their stuff. And a lot of the times the guys that come in and talk to me, it's the first time they've ever spoken to anyone, especially about sexual abuse and stuff like that, right? So I understand the privilege that it is for me to receive that information, but I also, I need more. I need more, and that's what kinesiology does, okay? So it's somatic therapy, working with the body, mind, memories, chakras, glands, organs, subconscious mind, energy fields, past life stuff. I do dimensional stuff, you name it, we are muscle testing it. And there's no way that you can relay that information to me. You can't tell me what the emotion was when you were 8 years old. You can't tell me where it's sitting in your body. You can't tell me which one of your chakras is feeling unless you've got a sore throat. Right? So this is where the muscle testing comes in. Okay, so I'm just going to talk to you about this commencement checks. You're on my meals trolley, and hopefully when I stand up, oh, there we go. I've practiced with the camera angle. Wait, we're just going to sit it up just a little bit. Beautiful. Okay, so the commencement checks were designed for people for my events, because I had someone message me with a voice message, and this is why I love voice messages, because I can tune in and feel into rather than texting. And she said, I do want to come to your event and I have bought a ticket, but I'm sabotaging everything I do, every course I do, I don't do anything with it, or I leave halfway, or I get a headache, or and I'm feeling the same thing about your event. What do I do? And I was like, she's not in her body. Straight away, she's not in her body. So this was years ago, I designed the commencement checks we do it at every event to make sure that people are in their bodies before we start purging and doing all the crazy stuff. And, you know, in the case of the Kundalini and the massage and stuff that I do, it's like an exorcism. So you've got to make sure that people are in their bodies as much as possible before, you know, you start clearing that stuff, so that they can be present as it's happening and be present afterwards. Because, you know, we all know that people are, you know, living in the ether right now. Okay, so the commencement checks are, just for safety reasons, I'm just going to explain. I don't know Gay and Talitha are volunteered, so I don't know if there's anyone else. I can't really see if there's anyone else that's volunteered, but we'll do those two, and I'll just tell you what we're going to do. So I'm going to say them for them, because they can't speak, so which is what I do on Zoom anyway. I'm going to say the commencement checks and I'm going to muscle test. So my abs clench for a yes, and I don't move for a no. So it's a bit hard to see with this camera and sideways and my abs, and I'm wearing black. So my abs, you'll see me bop like this for a yes and nothing for a no. Then what's going to happen is I'm going to look at the blockage list, which is on the back here. And there's lots of things that it could be. It could be an attachment, could be that they're not in this dimension, that they're in parallel dimensions. They could be in their subconscious mind, not their conscious mind. So we're looking for the blockages when we get a no, and then we're going to clear it with emotion, chakra, energy work, light language, whatever comes up. Now I've got charts over there, so if you see me looking at my walls, that's what I'm looking for in emotions and body parts and all of that. Okay, so we'll do Gay first, if that's okay. If Gay's still watching, hopefully. Okay, so I am going to upload this to YouTube and all that stuff. So if you want me to cut this part out, I can do that. So I'm just going to tune into Gay's energy first. Great. So I'm going to say for her, she's 100% on all levels and dimensions, here and now, in this body, in this room, getting a no. I'm starting to wiggle because I'm tuning into her energy, but I'm getting a no. She's not in this room, but in her room where she is, right? So I'm going to muscle test now. I'm getting a no. So the body's not moving. It's a no. I'm going to now muscle test the list and see what it is. Hydration. Okay, so you see me moving, right? So hydration is water, electrolytes, salt. It's salt. So, brave heart, loving blood. Beautiful. So salt, Gay probably doesn't have salt on her. So there's sodium in electrolytes. So I pop these. I've got little vials and stuff, but this is the quickest thing I've got. So I'm going to pop this on Gay's body, or I could even, the guys sit over there and I get them to hold it. So I'm going to put this on the massage table, which is right there. And then we're going to test again. She's 100% on all levels and dimensions here and now in this body, in this room. Now I'm getting a yes. Great. So it's as simple as that. We need to support the body for it to heal. And salt was coming up for her. Now the next one, all 12 parts of her being are aligned in true faith. Getting a no. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3. It's hydration, water, electrolytes, salt. Salt's coming up again. Starting to see a pattern, right? So we've got this, and we're going to pop that on her throat. That's actually the sodium point from memory from like 15, 20 years ago. Now, straight away, my hands are doing their own thing. This is over her solar plexus chakra, which is her power center. And we always breathe, so just breathe, Gay, if you're listening and watching. Right, so the solar plexus is your power center. It's where anxiety comes from. My little theory on this is anger and joy come from the same place, which is this chakra, right? So we're always looking for joy or trying to be happy, right? We don't use the word joy often. And everything is getting in the way, right? And all those blockages and hurdles and life isn't fair and all that shit and all this stuff's happening at the moment with the petrol and blah, blah, blah. Anger, 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 anger. And we just want to be in joy. And so right in the middle there is anxiety. It's like, fear, okay? So the other thing that happens in the power center is willpower. So she's lost her willpower, basically, if there's a blockage in here. And then it's also connected to the adrenals. So I'm going to have a guess that she's burnt out. And it's connected to anger and resentment and frustration and suppressed anger, which is gallbladder and liver. Right, so the chakras are like little brain centers and they're connected to certain organs and certain parts of the body and certain functions. So it's not just a woo-woo energy chakra. So my hands are just doing their own thing, right? They're just doing their thing, and I'm an observer. This is how I work. Right, it's going the other way now, which is a good thing, and it's balanced, right? So there comes the energy. You're going to see my kundalini going off now. That's the snakes running up my spine. I'm working with Shakti energy, so I'm not working with my own energy. And I'm known as the egg beater. That's my nickname, or the whippersnapper. Should see what happens to me when I'm on the table. Just ask my shiatsu therapist, Susie, what happens to me. We need extra padding, that's for sure. Okay, that's cleared, right? So my body's just gone bang, that's cleared. So now we're going to check it again. All 12 parts of her being are aligned in true faith, getting a no. Okay, so I'm now just going to check the 12 parts. Emotional, dimensional reality, spiritual, higher self, mental, inner child, physical body, parent gene, subconscious is coming up for her. All right, so we're going to get then an emotion. Grief. So the large intestine is coming up, which is where all our shit sits, which we can't let go of, and it's the grief that's sitting there. So if she was here, I would ask her, I mean, she's watching, but I would ask her what grief. I have an idea because I know gay. And so guilt, grief, and regrets sit in the large intestine. It's why people get constipated. It's why they have digestive issues. It's why they can't let go, because the grief hurts so much. They can't even let go of the grief, right? And what's been done to them and taken away from them, we can't let go. And there's a whole lot of guilt that sits in there, and mother's guilt, all of that stuff. So I'm sending energy like this over her large intestine. You can see my body moving and shaking. Starting to get really hot in here. There it goes. Now all 12 parts of her being are aligned in true faith. Now we're getting a yes. Great. The next one, she's living totally in the now. The past gave her situations that she's learnt and grew from, and the future is an unexpected glory. We're getting a no there. All right. So we're going to go emotion here. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Resentful. And straight away, my hands just start doing their own thing. I don't even have to ask or muscle test which chakra. My hands are like, let me at it. So straight away over a power center. All right. So there's anger, willpower, joy. And she's lost her power there. And then I would ask her, what does that emotion mean to you? Blah, 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 blah. But we're just going to send the energy and we're just going to clear it. Okay, that's done. Anything else? Yes, no. You are living totally in the now, gay. The past gave you situations that you learned and grew from, and the future is an unexpected glory. Getting a yes. You can see my body moving. Great. She allows herself to feel her emotions fully and release them completely. No. All right, I'm not moving. There's no muscle test there. So now we're going to look at the blockages list. Hydration, water, electrolytes, salt. It's salt again. So I've got my sodium in here. So we're going to pop that on her heart, is where she needs the salt. So that then starts to tell me that she's heartbroken and the heart is doing all the work. We need salt for the system to, the electrical system. I don't know quite how to explain this because it's just something I see. Almost like neural pathways, the electrical currents and things that run through the body. We need salt for the body to do that, especially if you're a psychic healer working with people, and especially if you've gone through grief, because we're crying a lot and we're doing a lot of work from the heart space to just deal with what's happening, and it's draining. Okay, so again, I'm going to ask her to have salt after this, and we want the Himalayan salt or the canning salt or the Celtic salt. Everybody needs to get rid of their table salt. Sine kia tēnā mana I siana. Kia sea mana yaratari urutunaya. Right, so my hand's gone to her throat chakra, so she can't ask for what she wants and she's stuck. She can't say anything, and I happen to know her situation, so I understand what that's about, but I'm not going to say it on camera. And my hand is going like this to her root chakra, so she's lost her stability, her safety, which is root chakra, right? She's had the carpet, I'm getting the carpet ripped out from under her, or yeah. And I'm getting wool over something like pull the wool over your eyes, that's coming through. It's quite funny, my psychic ability has all these cliche things. Anything else? Yes, no. Right, we're gonna go back and check. You allow yourself to feel your emotions fully and release them completely. I'm getting a yes now. See how quickly kinesiology can shift this stuff? You're ready to take action, getting a yes, right? So this is starting to strengthen the next ones that I say. They're not just independent, words. And because I use these all the time, yeah, it's hard to explain. I'm ready to see things from another perspective. So she is, great. Don't need to do that one, don't need to do that one. Now we're gonna muscle test water, electrolytes, and salt. I'm getting a no, so that's good, right? We want to know there. So that's it. Now I'm just gonna get an affirmation for her. I didn't plan this. It's just coming up, and this is how it works, right? You get affirmations come through or whatever. So we'll grab this book here. We'll just do some general affirmations. This one, 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 this one. Right, 1, 2, 3. Right, the heading is transmutation of curses into blessings, and it's B. So she needs to say, if she was here, she's harnessing the power of alchemy to transform negative energies into positive forces. Now you can contact me again, I can send it to you. So just write down 103B if you want to ask me what it is later, because I won't remember. Now I'm getting a no there. So we want to get a yes. We have to get a yes when we're doing affirmations. They're not just positive affirmations, I love myself and all that stuff. If you don't believe it, if your body doesn't believe it, it's just not true. You're not aligned with it. So we always have to muscle test affirmations. And on that note, affirmations, in my experience, are the most powerful way and the easiest way for my students to then self-test on a daily basis. You can have 10 affirmations that you write out for yourself, which are very specific and personal to what's going on in your life. And you muscle test every day, and you keep going until you get a yes every day, and then it holds, okay? So I'm harnessing the power of alchemy to transform negative energies into positive forces. We're getting a no. So now I'm going to see what's blocking it. And is it this one, this one, this one, this one? So it's a chakra. And it's solar plexus, which is what we were working on before. Envy is coming up. Ew, we know what envy feels like, right? So we'll just sit with, I would ask her, where is she feeling envy? I can kind of have a guess, so I'm just pulling in that information, even though she can't talk to me, and we're sending energy to this chakra. And I want to tell her that this will get better. The envy, that I know who she's envious of, and that it will get better, that it will all come to light, and that all she has to do is focus on this one thing that's coming up, the transmutation of curses into blessings. It's an absolute curse what's happening to her, and we want to transmute that into blessings. And the bottom line is, for that, people, is if you focus on your own stuff and you stay in your own lane and you say let them and let me, and you this is what I've been doing all year. I'm going to build an empire. Right? Anything else? Yes, no. Now we're going to test it again. You are harnessing the power of alchemy to transform negative energies into positive forces, and I get a yes. That was from my past life book, so it's got some past life kind of energy to it. Is there anything else I need to do? Yes, no. Great. Safe to close. Beautiful. Getting a yes. Okay. Any questions? I don't really see any questions happening there. It's a weird thing how this works. Sometimes I'll see a whole lot of comments when I get off, and I'll answer the questions there anyway. So now we're going to do Talitha. Now, because I'm doing commencement checks, I don't need to know what's going on in their life. So when we do the events, so the Sacred Ancestral DNA Healing, we actually go around and I hire my kinesiologist, and they come in, and all the students, and they do this on every single person before we start all the crazy purging and fire burning, and all the sadness and all the crying and all the amazingness and the breath work and all that stuff. You've got to be in your body. Okay, Talitha, so I'm going to say for you, you are 100% on all levels and dimensions here and now in this body, in this room. Getting a no. If we can get guys feedback in the comments there, it doesn't have to be too personal. Just, how accurate it was, had the muscle testing, did it make sense, that type of thing. And same with Talitha. So you're 100% on all levels and dimensions. Sorry, we just lost internet connection. We've just lost, hang on a second. I've got all this flashing up on here. There we go. Oh, beautiful. Now I can see what's going on. Thank you. You're welcome. So we got a no for Talitha on the first one, and it's coming up salt for her. We've had some internet connection issues, just in case you missed that. And hi, Marie, is it? Mari? I am in Melbourne. I'm in Karen, but I do online stuff, as you can see. So we're going to get the salt, and we're going to work out, I could get her to hold it, but normally I put it on the throat. So I'm going to pop that there on the massage table, pretending she's on because this is a distance healing. We can just bring it up. We bring up the energy. This is how it works. Right, so straight away, I don't know if you can see that, my hand has gone to a chakra, but if anyone knows, it should be like this, above a chakra, and my hand's going like this. So this is going to be interesting because we're live. I'm going to ask which chakra I'm actually targeting with this hand. Is it this one, this one? So it's her power center, but it's skew whiff. Now, no one's ever taught me this stuff. I learn a lot of things by muscle testing and letting my hands do their own things so that chakras aren't aligned. Like they're meant to be this way and they're skew whiff, or that they're shattered, or that they're upside down and that they're all in the wrong place, or they've moved, whatever. You may message me saying that's not possible, and I will tell you that it is. Anything is possible. We don't know. We don't know. We learn on the job. This is why it's so amazing. If you let yourself learn on the job. Okay, so I'm going to send energy on this angle to this chakra because that's what it needs. But I'm going to ask. She needs an essence to correct the chakra. The chakra's skew whiff. This one, this one, this one, this one. Okay, so I've got all my essences there, and causal chakra has come up, which is at the back of the head here. It's the mental chakra. It's one of the 13 chakras. So I'm going to pop this, which isn't what's coming up. So we're actually working on the solar plexus, but her causal chakra is telling me it needs an essence. All right. So these are my essences that I've imprinted with 15 different frequencies with the AO scan. So we're going to put this into her energy field. If she was here, I would put it in her mouth. So what happens is if a chakra shatters, stops spinning, all the things, something has happened, right? So I can tell by the way my hand is still on an angle that something has happened to Talitha, and I don't know how old she is, but I'm going to go say, I'll go 50, she's not 50, but 50 to 40 to 30 to 20, 30 to 25, 24, 23, age 23, something happened to her. And I'm muscle testing for anyone that's just joined us. And that's what's caused this chakra to, what is the word? It's not bend, it's like go out of alignment. Now, my other hand is actually holding a sacral chakra, all right? So that's your sexuality. It's where creation comes from. It's where orgasm comes from. Any sexual dysfunction comes from, any sexual abuse, and also a lack of motivation and creativity. It's our inner child chakra as well. So I'm not going to go into all of that on camera because I don't know her situation. So we're going to protect her. Sorry, we're getting internet connection issues. Protect her privacy. And I'm just going to explain what I'm doing. Right, so that's all it needs there. Now I'm going to see what's going on with this chakra. Is it safe for me to correct this chakra into alignment? I'm getting a yes, always asking safety. And now my hands are starting to repair. And we're going to get an emotion. Codependent is coming up in the heart chakra. So something's happened back when she was 23 to do with codependence that has, I would say, traumatized her, and it's affected her power center, which we're working on now, but it's also in the heart chakra, which is where that emotion was sitting. And don't we know how codependence can fuck us up? Been there, done that. Yep. Okay, right. Sian tēnā kara I sia tēnā kuru pānea tēnā. Hei tēnā kara ana I sian tēnā manai kana. So this is me telling her, I can't tell what I'm saying, but I can feel the feelings of you've forgotten who you are, and Talitha, and it's time for you to step into who you really are. And none of us know who that is, but you already know. You can feel it. You're probably crying right now. There's a resonance there with you've forgotten who you are because of this person at 23 and this codependence. You lost your way. So when that kind of voice comes through, that's the women coming through the ancestral line telling you to fucking do what you need to do. Whenever it's that loud and that kind of like, ooh, it's this feeling of like women standing around a fire, tribal, like, you know, women used to rule the world and you've forgotten who you are and it's taken away your power. And so we're putting that back in now. Anything else? Yes, no. Good. So we're going to test it again. You're 100% on all levels and dimensions here and now in this body, in this room, getting a yes. All 12 parts of your being are aligned in true faith, getting a yes. You are living totally in the now. The past gave you situations that you learned and grew from, and the future is an unexpected glory, getting a no. Okay, is it here, 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 here? So we're muscle testing another emotion. It's coming up, solar plexus chakra emotion. Fire. That's interesting. Now I'm going to muscle test which chakra. It's the solar plexus again. So I would ask her what fire means, right? So what would fire mean to you, Talitha? You can type it in the thing if you want to. If you don't want to, that's fine. Now, fire obviously can be a good thing and fire can be a bad thing. And just when we work with the elements, if you are imbalanced in your fire element, you will be angry. But if you are too low, you will have lost your fire, which is, I'm getting a yes around that, right? So this is how we don't even need to speak to people, right? So we're muscle testing. She's lost her fire. She's lost her, which makes sense with what we were just talking about, right? Now I'm just getting guided. So chakras have north, south, east, and west, or the front, the back, left and right side. So and these are cones that come in. I'm getting guided to go behind her as well. So I'm just going to switch into, I'm going to use both my hands. I'm going to go underneath. So, you know, for me, not what I've been told, but for me, behind us means it's happening behind us, behind your back. The bitching, the moaning, the gaslighting, the psychic attack, the paranoia that we have about people talking about us, that's kind of in the back there. Always looking over your shoulder. So let's say this was domestic violence. I know nothing about the situation, but it might be that she's always looking over her shoulder. Or it could even be to do with money, like always, you know, because your dad was always on your back about money and you were called an irresponsible child, like all that stuff. So it can be that. It doesn't have to be around anything traumatic. So we're clearing this, and you can see my body moving, shaking. If you just joined, that's my Kundalini, and now her heart needs some work. Now I've worked with Talitha. She's one of the crew at my powerful breathwork events, and I have watched her work, and she's a super powerful healer. Probably doesn't understand that yet. And I'm very picky about who I have as my crew. So I'm just going to give her a shout out now to, she won't see herself how I see her. And that's important with this whole being seen video challenge and all that stuff, is we never see ourselves as good as we should. Right, cleared that, good. Okay, which one was I up to? You are living totally in the now. The past gave you situations that you learned and grew from, and the future is an unexpected glory, getting a yes. You allow yourself to feel your emotions fully and release them completely, getting a yes. You're ready to take action. You're ready to see things from another perspective. And water, electrolyte, salt, yes, no. I can feel straight away her energy is moving, like, ooh, like I can feel it now that we've shifted that. Okay, so we might just grab her an emotion, an affirmation as well from the past life manual. Right, 81, 82, 83. So write down, if you're listening, Talitha, 83, and the heading is Contracts Across Realities, and it's 83B. You are aligning with contracts that connect you to higher dimensions of existence, and we're getting a no. The affirmation comes up because it's not true. It very rarely comes up because it is true. Because out of the hundreds of affirmations there, this is the one that muscle tested. So we muscle test the page, then the category, then the number, and then whatever's under the number, A or B. Now, I've forgotten which one it was. Contracts across realities, and A through B. Okay, so we're getting a no for I am aligning with contracts that connect me to higher dimensions of existence. So now we're going to check the emotion that's blocking that. Dominated. So you're feeling dominated. Now we're going to do the chakra and its solar plexus. So if she was here, I'd ask her, how are you feeling dominated? In what area of your life? It's the first thing that comes to mind. It doesn't have to be the big trauma that happened when you were like 17 or whatever. And if we were to dive deep, then we would go, when else have you felt that way? When else have you felt that way? Dominated, where, and look for the pattern throughout the ages, and we collect all the information, not just that one time. But for now, this is all we need. Anything else? Yes, no. You are aligning with contracts that connect you to higher dimensions of existence. Still getting a no. It's a throat and resentful. So I'm doing throat chakra energy. Throat chakra is about asking for what you want, being heard, being able to express yourself, being able to communicate. A lot of us couldn't as kids or weren't shown how, or, you know, can't as adults. We're all fucked. Anything else? Yes, no. Right, say it again. You are aligning with contracts that connect you to higher dimensions of existence. Getting a yes now. So you can see the pattern, you can see the theme, you can see the story unfolding there, you can see where it's sitting in her body, where the problem areas, it just kept coming up solar plexus, so she just keeps losing her power. The number one reason why women don't step into their power is because they lost their power, or they never had it to begin with, that it was taken away, or they enable it to be taken away. And that's literally why I'm here on this planet, and why I'm working with women, why I'm doing the breath work, why I'm doing all of these events, is to get rid of the shit, get rid of your trauma, get rid of your stories, get it out of your body, and help you move forward and step into your power. It's time. We're in the age of Aquarius. You cannot hide anymore. And I've been hiding for 8 months, and now I'm coming out, and here I am on video. So if you'd like to join the video challenge, just pop a yes in the comments and I'll add you to the group chat. You just have to do 2 lives a week. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to be perfect. I was meant to wash my hair this morning, and I decided not to be perfect and to get on camera anyway. Okay, so any questions, let me know. I just want to talk about my upcoming course very, very quickly. So it's 11th and 12th of April, so it's in 2 weeks. And we are, or 10 days, and it's not too late to join us. If you want to learn kinesiology, it used to be called beginners. I started to realize by going to other people's courses that it was the most advanced system, not beginners at all. So we're calling it level 1 now, but you don't have to have any experience. You don't have to know how to muscle test. You don't have to know what a chakra is. I'm going to actually teach you all of it. And then we've got the people that join us, and there's always 1 or 2 or 3 people that are already done kinesiology, they're already practicing, and they come in and do my course because it's the missing link to what they've been looking for, which is the energy side of things. Half the people, at least half the people, their kundalinis activate throughout the course. There are big purges. It's so funny. The students come in on day 1 and they're like, oh, I'm here to learn. This is amazing. And da, da, da. By day 2, they're like, what the fuck? And they're like on the table, losing their shit. People are out on the grass, rolling around. Everyone's starving, hungry. You know, I hold space better than anyone I've ever seen, and I'm going to wear that hat today because safety is my number one value, and I create safety for everyone involved, and it's the most fun ever. Day 1 is like a bit of a head fuck because we're all concentrating and I'm teaching and all that. Day 2 is like magical fairy. I get to walk around and do amazing energy work and activate people's kundalinis, and it's really cool. Anyway, so that's coming up 11th and 12th. I'll pop the link in the comments. I'm going to offer you $100 off. If you're watching this live, you can get $100 off. That's the special going at the moment. There's no more payment plans because we're too close to the date. So let me know. You can pay a deposit and the rest the day before the course. That's fine. And yeah, just a reminder that the live challenge is for practitioners, coaches, healers, business owners, anyone that is not in corporate, basically, where you have to show up for yourself. You are your business. Your face is your business. I used to get recognized every time I went into Mordialloc, whether it was going out for a drink, going to a restaurant. It was every time I left the house in Mordialloc for some reason. I would, oh, you're that girl, or up at Southland, oh, you're that girl, the integrated men's something or other, and yeah, you know, I love what you're doing and stuff like that, right? So because I was integrating men's health for years, I was a logo and I was a business name. And so I knew I had to get on video because I kept getting called dude. Hey dude, you know, how much are your healings? And I'm like, hey dude, I'm a female. So I realized that my face needed to become my business. As we know in marketing, that's the most important part. People are buying you, they're not buying your therapies or modalities, because a million people are doing kinesiology out there, but none of them are me. And you have to learn, and this is where I teach my business bootcamp, of creating a package, creating a signature treatment that is 100% you on a platter, and they get everything in 1 hour of what you do. Anyway, that's a whole other story. I'll talk about those in the coming weeks, all the business stuff that I'm doing, all the breathwork stuff, the sacred ancestral DNA healing. The next 2 months are crazy, and then we're going to Bali to reset, and God knows what's going to happen after that, because I feel like there's big things shifting. I've got some exciting information on news, but I'm holding on to that until it's like signed, deal, delivered, I'm your man type thing. So stay tuned for that. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. If you want to join the group chat for the video challenge, put yes in the comments. I'm saying see you later now, and I want to just thank myself for stepping up, not washing my hair, doing the thing anyway, feeling really proud of myself, and that yes, I can do it, and I will be doing it. So you'll be seeing a lot of me in the next month. See you, bye.